Hi, I'm Kyle, and on this episode of the MWA podcast, Sean, Jeff, and I are asking Owen Madden the 5 questions. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out Owen's interview on episode 602. So welcome back to the show, Owen.
Thanks.
So, you know what you get when you Google your name, don't you?
Yeah.
The gangster.
Gangster, yeah. Yep.
I always Google everybody. And I remember going, Owen Madden. Yeah. Famous
Long
American
lost
gangster.
uncle.
Yes.
Great uncle.
Any relations?
No, but funny story is there's a very famous bank robber gangster from this area called Legs Diamond. And I guess him and I think it's Owen, but it's spelled funny, had some sort of interaction with each other. So there's like a long history of cool gangsters in the areas.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I saw that he owned the Cotton Club, which is one of my, which is kind of interesting. Also, one of my favorite movies back in the day. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
The Cotton Club?
Yep.
Hmm.
You have to read. I think Richard Gere's in it. Who else? Anyway, it's a kind of gangster movie, but it all centers around the Cotton Club and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. With that, I don't know whether I'll keep any of that in the show, but it's pretty interesting. We'll dip our toes into the woodworking news. So first up, Fine Woodworking is having their annual New England conference. This is on May 1st and 2nd. And I think this is like the 3rd or 4th year they've had this, something like that.
Yeah, but, it's the resurrection of Fine Woodworking Live, just in a different space.
Right. You're at the Connecticut Valley of School of Woodworking, which they've always put on an annual event, I think, and they just kind of Fine Woodworking just kind of worked with him to kind of incorporate all that stuff. Yeah.
We amalgamated with Bob. Yeah. There used to be an open house, and he would show, people would set up a booth of who his instructors were going to be at the school for the year, which I always used to go to because it's a great way to meet and talk to a lot of really good woodworkers. And now it's a little bit more presenter focused. So there's a lot of it's stacked with people presenting about things. The list, we should attach the list too, because it's long and really good.
Yeah, I'll have a link in the show notes, but you got Christian Bexford, who we talked about last episode, Mary May, who we just had on the show, Daryl Peart's going to be out there, so y'all flew him in from the West Coast, and Thomas Lee Nielsen, but like you said, Steve Latta, Al Breed, Brendan Gaffney, there's just a whole bunch of folks there.
I mean, the whole crew. Of course.
Murderers Row.
Yeah, exactly.
Murderers Row, indeed.
And of course, you got Bob Van Dyke there. I don't know why he's there, but yeah, that's right, he were. But anyway, yeah, it looks like a fine event, and again, that's May 1st, 2nd. And
Brian, is that close enough to you to be a man on the scene?
Yeah, it is, but unfortunately, it's move out weekend for Vanderbilt.
Man.
So unless I can
this is
convince the wife
located
to
in
do that.
Manchester, Connecticut.
Yeah, that's probably 5-6 hours from where I am. It's not too far.
Yeah, but it looks.
But if you can get there, anybody who can,
get
there.
Now, there's no cost for this, right?
There are tickets this year, and there is a cost because we are bringing in a lot more presenters.
Oh, sure.
But I don't think it's high cost.
I just clicked on it. It's $30.
Yeah,
2 days for $50. Kids are free. Like that's
it's not like those other trade shows where it's like $500 a ticket. It's very affordable.
Because I think for a year or two it was at no cost, but with getting those kind of folks in, you're gonna fly Daryl from the West Coast in,
Yeah, exactly.
So, but $30 is nothing. Yeah.
I identify as a kid, so
Identifies.
I am a child.
I get them free. So
Fantastic.
Exactly. With that, let's see. Next up, woodpeckers and blue spruce, because they all tend now to put out the same stuff.
Right.
It seems like, just in their different flavors. But they have a new mallet that's made out of polycarbonate. So it's the standard blue spruce mallet you all love and adore. But instead of the resin infused maple that they used to make it out of, they now are making this is just a different version. They still make but this one now has polycarbonate and same shape, same stuff, but apparently this is pretty dense, packs a lot of punch, but doesn't have much rebound to it. And anyway, it looks interesting. If you want the anodized aluminum red handle, then get it from Woodpeckers. If you want the more traditional wood grained handle, then get it from Blue Spruce.
I would prefer the wood handle, although I already have a Blue Spruce mallet.
I do too.
I like the infused wood.
Yeah.
As compared to polycarbonate.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I paid for it. It's probably about the same.
Well, see, this is the only thing that's kind of, they got it on sale since they're just introducing it at 130, and its regular price is 140.
Yeah.
But the maple mallet is like 120, which is
why not? I mean, I can say from experience that you can beat the hell out of things with that maple mallet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't mar. It doesn't. It doesn't dent.
I've dropped mine on my concrete floor a couple of times. It's barely a scratch.
Oh, I've hit like angle iron with it. It's fine.
I've driven nails. Yeah.
So
I've not pounded a nail with it per se, but like
I guess the
good.
polycarbonate is just more expensive than the resin infused maple, but I wouldn't think so.
I don't know
I don't know much about polycarbonate. Yeah.
Are they milling like fat stock of it, or are they pouring it somehow?
It's got to be molded. Yeah, it's
molded
be poured
in
into
some
a
way.
mold. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it has properties, but I don't know. Like the weight would be interesting. They say that it balances well.
Yeah. Well, they had to develop a mold, and I think those molds to do stuff like that go for about $10,000 or something like that. So
they're recouping that cost a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm sure. Yeah, there's some.
Let's hope that they have some of these at handwork so we can actually put our hands on it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because I'm curious. I may even bring my other one.
As long as there's some aircraft grade aluminum somewhere, then I'm at.
Oh, you got to go Woodpeckers. You got to go Woodpeckers for the aluminum.
Red anodized aircraft grade aluminum and polycarbonate that used to be used in aircraft windows. This is an aviator's dream.
Yeah.
No, very interesting. I'm curious on the market space for that, and how far is that going to go? It's again interesting. To me, I think if you hit the wrong thing, that polycarbonate's going to crack in some way.
I do have to say that the Woodpeckers one in red you got two different polycarbonates we should have mentioned. You can either get it clear or black.
Yeah.
But the Woodpeckers one with the red handle and the black head, I mean, you could spot that clean across your entire shop. So you're not going to lose that.
It's way too close to Ohio State colors. I'm not doing it. I can't.
Oh, man.
I can't.
That's right. That's right.
I'll take wood grain any day. Red and black, red and gray. Nope.
Yep. Anyway, well, with that, and I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to them. Maybe they can do some in Michigan colors for you.
Yeah. You anodize me some blue.
Yeah,
let's do that. Come on,
with like a yellow polycarbonate.
No, because it'll just look aged.
Okay. All righty. Well, with that, Lost Art Press has a new video they just released, and hopefully by the time this episode posts, it's still on sale. If not, you'll have to pay full price for it. But it is a video with Chris Williams on how to build a Welsh lobster pot chair. So this is fascinating. Taking a class with Chris Williams, and he is the connoisseur of the Welsh stick chair, and having a video class with him building one is be fantastic. Right now, believe it or not, it's only $30.
Right,
and
that's a deal.
Have I already bought it? Maybe.
Confirmed.
But full price is only $60, and that's a steal at that price too. It's a 2-hour video, and he goes into building this lobster pot chair. If you're not familiar with it, it's kind of like a stick chair, but once the sticks pass through the arm bow, then they kind of bow into
they tighten inward. Yeah,
into the crest rail there, or the comb, and it kind of looks like a lobster pot.
It's as if you could see through like a barrel.
Yep.
In that way where it's kind of barrel shaped.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that term or seen this, but now seeing it, I understand the name.
Yeah.
Of a lobster pot. I mean, it's square at the bottom and then curved as it goes higher. Into the crest
it actually
rail.
kind of curves out a little bit before it hits the arm bow.
I guess it does a little. Yeah.
Curves back in. Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. Seems somewhat complicated, but I mean, guess I gotta watch the video.
Exactly. And like I said,
$30, even at 60.
660, it's a steal. Yeah, it's a no brainer right there. So check that out. And next up, Rich Harwood, who's one of our patrons, ask us a question. We normally don't do questions, but if you're a patron, we'll do all your questions. So, but no, it's an interesting question. He says, "Hey guys, thank you for all the great discussion and information. I'm downsizing some things and I had a question. How many combination double squares do y'all keep in the shop? I've accumulated 4 6-inch, 3 12-inch, and 1 2-inch die makers combo squares. All of them are good quality users despite occasionally using 4 or 5 of them on a project. Having 8 combo squares feels a tad excessive. If I have more marking or measuring tools than Kyle does, I know it's excessive." So
all
anyway.
right, so let's around the table.
Yeah,
starting
I
with Kyle.
already gave him my answer, but that was a couple of days ago, so I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, but I told him I would, I would throw it out to the guys. So Brian, what do you think?
Those are rookie numbers.
Oh man,
Brian has
really?
combination squares
Sorry,
that he purchased, and he doesn't even know he has them.
He doesn't even know they're there.
See, I had an affection for Chris Vesper squares, so I've got more of those than I need, and then I have the usual Starretts. I think you need at least 2 in similar sizes, so you can do, like, if you're coming in from the left and the right, and you want to set them and leave them, and you definitely need more than one. I mean, I would say you could probably get away with 2 6-inch and 1 12-inch. The die makers, love them or hate them, but if I had my ideal shop, I would say 1 4, 2 6, 1 12. That should cover almost everything. And then if you're doing casework, or if you want to mark stuff off, maybe 1 24-inch, something along those lines.
Yeah.
But that's my vote.
All right, Jeff, what about you?
See, I have my one I use all the time is my Stair, the 12-inch, and then I have the smaller Stair that I picked up about a year or 2 ago, a 4-inch, and then that's it for combinations.
Okay, Sean?
Buddy, I've got a lot of squares, but very few of them are combination squares. I've got like the big box store 6 and 12-inch, and that's about it. I've got framing squares, I got carpenter squares, I've got those things. Nothing's movable on those though, so it's not like an adjustable square. For me, that's always worked out because I use them to my abilities. But I don't know, Kyle, can you remember your numbers?
Yeah, I think so, or at least I can get close to them. Now, for the work I do, I think I can get away with 1 12-inch combo square. And the reason I say that is because I have all sorts of little triangle type square things. So I rarely use the 45, rarely use the 45. In fact, I actually like the double squares more. But I'm thinking at least 1 or 2 6-inch. And I really love 4-inch double squares.
Yeah,
I think 3 to 4 of those would be okay. At least 2, because you can set them up and then mark them. Set them up for something that you're doing repeat measurements from and stuff like that.
But those are like when you're dealing with like 4/4 stock or less.
Yeah,
right?
And when you do set them up, the side that is not set to a particular diameter, especially in the 4-inch, because it's easy to get confused.
Gotta mark it.
You got to mark it. Put a piece of blue tape.
Yep.
Tape on it. Yep.
I put blue tape and it says no.
But yeah, always do that or you will run into trouble. Now, Owen, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah. I remember saving up for a long time for my first Starrett square. So I would say 1 6-inch, 1 12-inch will get you by with a lot. I do like a double square, but it doesn't have to be the most expensive. Like a 4-inch, not super expensive as long as it's square. And then I make a lot of like blocks with stops on it for repeatable stuff, like 1.5 inch offset block with a little stop on it, and a little marking gauge type of thing. Then you don't have to worry too much. One of each, and then maybe a 24-inch blade for your 12-inch square.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I use longer straight edges than I do squares by far.
Yeah.
Okay.
just to tick 2 points and connect the dots kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do that a hell of a lot more. I trust a square to mark a 90-degree or 45-degree angle.
Understood. One of the things that I'm interested to see some reviews on is Izzy Swan has Swan Tools, and they're making a bunch of square type things and all kinds of marking and measuring tools. And they look really, really interesting. I think they just hit the market a few weeks ago or something like that with a limited run of their stuff. But I'm really interested to, have somebody go out there, like, find Woodworking Magazine and do some reviews.
We'd love to see it.
While we're here anyway. But with that, before we get into 5 questions, let's give our patrons a shout out. So who do we have to thank this week?
Yeah, big thanks goes out to our Patreon supporters as always. Today, we're going to give that big shout out to Buzz Buzzkirk. I love that name. And if you, listener, would like to join Buzz in supporting our show, you can do that by going to patreon.com/MWA podcast.
Yes. Thanks so much, Buzz. He's one of our longest time patrons. So we really appreciate that, Buzz.
Love it.
So you ready for the 5 questions, Owen?
Yep.
First question is, what is your favorite tool? And as always, our limit is 23.
There's so many. I'm going to stick with low angle block plane. I think it's the most versatile.
Okay. Any particular brand you like?
Yeah, Lee Nielsen.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, I forget the number that they call it, but
what is that one?
62 and a half, something.
164.
62 is the bevel up, isn't it?
Maybe the bevel up.
So beyond that, who has influenced you the most in your woodworking?
That's a very good question. I'm going to shout out Andrew Hunter. I think the way he looks at woodworking and the way he approaches it in 2 completely different ways of a very creative approach, or the way he looks at it is very creative and very naturistic almost. And then the way he approaches it is so analytical and so fine that it's being able to carry those 2 spectrums is very impressive.
Oh, very cool.
And he's such a nice guy too. He's just
amazing.
He will he'll share everything with you that he's doing and stuff like that. Now, how many Japanese tools do you have?
In the dozens.
In the dozens.
Okay.
Yeah. I've
all right.
started
So what's your favorite Japanese tool?
Favorite Japanese tool is a small radius plane.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I picked it up at one of the tool sales. It's cool. It's only 2 inches long, and it's probably a 30-inch radius on the bottom of it.
Wow.
Okay. So is it radiused in both
directions? Yeah. So maybe it's 30 inches one way and maybe 15
the other way. Yeah.
So 30 Y, 15X, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I have one of those myself. It can come in handy, especially, saddling seats and stuff like that. But yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the steel is so good. And it's so fun to sharpen.
Yeah. Okay. So question number 3 is, what is your white whale? So this is the one thing that you haven't made yet, but you always wanted to.
Definitely. I've always had a dream of this very large armoire. Probably Art Nouveau design with some funky leaded glass and really kind of trippy, like it should be in a the book that's totally spacing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh,
you open it to another dimension.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Something funky like that.
Would that be functional in your house or just kind of like a dream thing to do?
Yeah, functional. Put some faux fur coats in it because
there it is.
We're vegetarians.
They're very, very functional. Very functional.
Well, I hear Owen likes interdimensional travel, so
Sure. Something I'm working on.
So what's your number 1 tip for your fellow woodworker?
There's 2 that I would like to, can I do 2? Is that okay?
Of course.
Sure.
Of course. 23 is our limit for all questions.
Lenient.
Yeah.
For all of them? Okay, not just 2. Okay. The first is definitely, and this is something a lot of people are good at saying, but I'll say it again, is just make something out of whatever you have. Don't worry about what tools you have. You can glue two sticks together and it can be creative and a fun outlet. The other is don't hyper fixate on your super zoomed in picture of what you're creating. Try to keep it like a big picture. If one glue joint isn't coming together the way that you hope it is, it's not going to ruin your life. It's just one glue joint. There's going to be a million others that you're going to battle with. So yeah, don't hyper fixate on one thing. You'll get stuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and no one will notice except you.
That's right. Yeah, until you tell them, which you never have to
Well, and that's the further lesson is don't tell anybody about the mistakes that you know you did, because they probably don't notice it.
No.
They don't want that story.
Tell them about all the things you're proud about.
There it is. Don't you love the end result?
Look at the grain selection here.
My ability to not stress about that joint that you're not looking at.
Yeah, like stop looking. I see you looking at it. Don't do that.
All right. I'm sorry. Was that your end of your answers there, Owen? I didn't want to.
Yeah, I did. Two's good.
Okay. All right. Because you had 21 to go. All right. So our final question here is: what is your go-to finish?
I'm gonna go shellac, usually with a paste wax top.
That's a very popular answer. We're getting more and more shellac people.
So nice, especially as somebody who's sprayed a lot of lacquer and is worried about how much lacquer they've sprayed. It's nice to put something on.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to put something on I know I could eat if I really need it.
Yep. But it also, I mean, it's thin layering and dries quick, right? I mean, so there's major benefits to that if that's what you're looking for.
And it's also like you can put it if you are, spraying lacquer. I would say maybe go on the waterborne route. In which case, you worry about deading darker woods like walnut or something like that. And shellac as a top coat, like a wash coat of shellac, will reserve that color to where when you put the waterborne on top of it, it'll stay as rich as it would look with regular, caustic, horrible chemicals.
Yes.
Right.
Conversion varnishes and whatnot. Yeah. What did you spray when you were doing production type work?
You mentioned I sprayed a lot of Malaysia lacquer. A lot of lacquer.
Tinted lacquer or just?
Tinted lacquer, clear lacquer, mostly catalyzed lacquer, not pre-catalyzed.
Yeah. Shellac's the way to go.
Shellac.
Kind of stuff.
Comparatively,
yes.
Yeah, shellac or an incredibly sharp hand plane, best finish.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
A good burnished finish. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Palessois.
Palessois.
Palessois. Yes. Well, with that, Owen, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yeah. Personally, Owen Madden Cabinet Maker on Instagram. The Woodworkers Book Club to join in there and see what we're reading. And in the pages of Fine Woodworking magazine.
All righty.
Cool.
Well, fantastic, Owen. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on. And it's great what you're doing with the Woodworkers Book Club. And I think all of our listeners should go out there and check that out.
100%.
Because I know I'm going to sign up. So,
thanks.
It's exciting to see what y'all are doing coming up. It's fantastic. Appreciate what you're doing. And, it's inspiring in some respects, what you've able to do and create. I mean, what you say, you got like 430 members at this point? So
and hopefully growing. Some silent, some very talkative, all welcome.
Yes, exactly. Well, again, thanks so much, Owen, and look forward to catching up with you down the road.
Thanks, guys. This was
very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.